So here's my video where I'm going to repeat a lot of the same stuff, but it's always good when it comes out again. So yeah, so here's what I was just like trying to put together and wrap around my head because I mean this all started with this is like, you know, I'm always trying to like, you know, and even though I have that, you know, I'll argue with you about anything, but if I see you're right though, I'm also the guy that's like, oh, you are right, you know, that is my bad, and you know that too, because even when I maybe even shouldn't needed to apologize, I still, because I felt like I went out of hand regardless of whether it was necessary or not, just because it's just not the way I wanted to be. I'm like, I'm sorry about that. That was my bad. You know, I apologize, you know. And I have before. So I'm not above apologies. I'm not above giving you guys credit where credit's due. I'm not the guy, the hater guy that's like, you know, how dare you freaking be number one. If anyone knows me from work, if somebody's number one, I'm not hating on them at all, dude. I'm like trying to learn from you, if anything. And literally, that's what I do. And I consider, and that's why I like being around good people that are successful, because I can learn from them. That's always been me, you know. When I go to a place where I see talent and I see people that are really high on their game and know what they're doing and are like successful. That's the people I want to be around all the time. And that's because it's only going to boost me up, you know. And that's a fact. That's a fact. And people that I've worked for and other people that I've tried to know that. And I still give them credit, you know, because it doesn't discount them from being the talent that they are. And I say that too, by the way, and they know that. But I'll also tell them that they were shit if they were shit too. But that's the fact. But at the end of the day, I always give credit where credit's due. No matter who you are or what you say to me, I can't discount talent. I'm not going to say but they're terrible salespeople just because of whatever. No, in fact, I do the exact opposite. I said those people were on top of their game. In fact, the other place I went to, I was like, yeah, these people they're not even like half the talent of the other people. And I said that, and it was true. Well, neither one of them really wanted me, but still, at the end of the day, I still give credit where credit's due. But here's what I'm getting at. As like I've tried to reach out to you guys several times. I've literally tried to reach out for y'all several times on all different types of forums, not just this one, not everyone. You know, and you know what I get? I never get a conversation. I never get any kind of like back and forth. You know, that's a conversation, by the way. Hey, let's talk. Talk means this. You don't talk at me and I have to listen and not ask questions and be talked to, and that's the only it. So that's basically you just telling me what to do and me having to listen. That's every conversation I've ever had with any one of you. And that's a fact. If it does come down to me talking, it's us talking at each other for just because I've waited long enough and I have a problem with something you said because it doesn't make sense versus something else you said, and I can't stand for that. So now I have to say, well, that doesn't make sense because that doesn't coincide with this other thing you said. So now I'm like, okay, wait, hold on. You got me there because no, they don't stop ever. They don't even stop talking to even acknowledge that there was a situation that they weren't, you know, they didn't even hear me. So I keep going, talk. They talk. We're talking. And then it just goes nowhere. No one heard each other at that point, and the end of the conversation was me going, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I can't talk to somebody that's not willing to talk and just talk at me. So have a nice day. Or I just disconnect, one of the two. Because I'm not going to literally sit there and have somebody just talk at me and tell me what to do without me having to like as if I'm like some kind of minuscule plant that doesn't even supposed to be talking. Like, we're supposed to just water you and you grow. And that's it. There's no talking in the plant world where you are. That is you. Well, you know, sorry, I'm not a plant. And no, please don't water me. So I'm like today, like I'm like this just like literally does not make any sense about anything anymore. It seems like it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And then when something doesn't make sense, I can't just sit there and pretend like, oh, let's just pretend like everything's not as perfect. Well, that'd be dumb if I did that, because I can't do that. It's not in my nature to just not sit there, see something, and call it out if it's not coinciding with the reality. Which a lot of the shit lately hasn't been. All of the shit lately hasn't been lately. So like, for example, like I have to like make posts on Reddit that verbally state at the top, there's no way you could possibly ever take this down for anything, based on the fact that, and then I have to it's from if you believe in the CDC exists, the World Health Organization, these are all credible sources. I know that because you guys have them on sources on these other, and then I have to point out other times that they're sourced. And then if that's the case, there's absolutely no way that anything that came from that site would be ever being able to take down. So I'm glad that we agreed that we all believe, well, you believe in the CDC. Correct? Yeah. Well, I don't say correct because I'm on a post. I'm writing a post. This is how I started. This is how the intro goes. And then I go into, well, since you do believe in the CDC, you know how I know that? Because of this, that, the other that you do every day, and you sourced them, and blah, 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 and this and that and the other, then you'd have to believe this too. And then I go, actually, this means in my head, this is actually the only real information that you can actually substantially confirm that is true, because there's no room for doubt on that one. Everything else is speculative. You know, really, COVID-19, does it protect you? Does the mask protect you? Not 100%. Does the vaccine protect you? Not always. Not necessarily. No. Well, but those things are posted all the time. This is the one credible shit that you can't deny. It's the actually only thing maybe on the whole website that's like, yep, that's 100% correct. Based on everything there's no room for speculation. This is it. This is it. This is everything that's on. This is the most credible thing on the site. Literally. It literally is the most accurate, detailed, 100% correct information that they're giving out is on this monitoring program, because it shows you there's a whole diagram. There's everything's there. It's not like, well, no, there might be this or that. No, it's there. It's all there. Everything is there. And it's there. And you're going, whoa, this is the real deal. This is 100% provable based on this diagram. And then and everything else that's being told that you guys tell every day is all speculative. Oh, wear the mask, but it can't protect you 6 feet apart. We don't know if that'll work. Do the antibacterial. It's 70% effective. Get the vaccine. Still not 100%. Still cases are getting it. So it doesn't protect you. What else is there? Everything. Pretty much everything else is not 100% accurate, because they say it themselves. No, it does not 100% protect you. In fact, there are cases of people getting it, as we reported, after they got the vaccine. Reported by us. People have died after the vaccine. Yeah, side effects, yep, those are real. Side effects of the vaccine are real. In fact, they're probably more real and more dangerous than the symptoms of the virus. So knowing all this, all right, and that should be enough. I mean, like, if that wasn't enough, if that was not enough, and by the way, no one could take this down. It's all accurate information based on the stuff that you guys say. So if there's anyone that calls this a liar, then just check your own facts as far as that's concerned, because I'll tell you what, one fact you can't dispute is the surveillance and monitoring program page. That's 100% accurate based on the fact that they have a whole diagram that states it. That's the only thing that I can count on the CDC website, for me personally, for being, yep, I believe them on that. That's credible information based on the fact there's no room for speculation. It's there. All the entities are there. It's in a nice format that everyone can read. And yeah, you guys got that one right. Everything else, So, and then you go to yourself, you go, and then, all right, so if that's true, all right, now I have to look this in the way of real reality that I'm in, which is the only reality I know. Knowing that there's another reality, yes, I get that, but I can't speak to that because I'm not part of that, so I can only speak to what I can speak to, which is the reality I see every day on the earth plane, which is my reality, which is everyone else I thought that was living here also. But knowing that there's another reality that they may have, then I go, well, I get it. You have a higher perspective, a different perspective, based on the fact that you have to have a different perspective because you can't have the same perspective as me if you have another reality, and this is just a secondary one. It skews your perception of this one, regardless of what you want to tell me it does. Just the same way if it was vice versa. If I had that perspective and you had this perspective, mine would be skewed too. I wouldn't understand your perspective on your reality of what you see every day as your reality, knowing if I have a second reality, I can't see. I'm not going to actually see and physically be in this reality the same way. It's just a fact. It's not your fault. It's just human nature. It wouldn't be. You can't literally have the same perspective of me, knowing that there's another perspective that you have as your reality. It just doesn't work that way. And no one can deny this. This is everything I'm saying is true, and nothing I'm saying is wrong. By the way, no one should ever. First off, I think I've gone through way too much as it is. Not saying that anything but that. I'm just saying that, like, you should at least allow me to be able to speak my mind. That's all I'm saying. And then, so here's what else. So then I go, all right. Well, then here's what really throws me for a loop every time. All right. So now I know this. All right. So I'm seeing you people every day. You're competent people out there making decisions. You're doing it every day, making choices. You go here, you go there. You go to the pool, you get in your car. You wake up at your time of choice. You get out of bed at your time of choice. You go to the choice of your work. You go to work where you choose. You talk to people that are your friends, that you've chosen to be friends. You love family. You have families. You go to the pool. You go to Walt Disney World. You do whatever it is that you do in a day. You're making choices all day long to do those things, right? Yes, you do. I see you. You go to concerts, you're happy. You go to parks, you're happy. You're smiling, you're having fun. Good, you should be. So then I go, well, knowing that they know where I'm going sometimes before I do, with their higher perspective, then they'd have to know what's in this damn virus or vaccine. So, I mean, it's not like they're not like, oh, well, we don't know that exists. Well, you know where I'm going before I get there, so I would assume that you know where what's in the fucking vaccine. I mean, let's be real here. I mean, you guys can't be that smart and that dumb at the same time. It's not possible. So I'm going, all right, they're very smart people. They're making decisions every day. They love what they're doing. They're having fun. They're doing these things. They're making choices every day, choosing to do things all the time. And then, yeah, and then all of a sudden they see this as it, not only as it is, as I see it, which is just as I see it on here, probably even more so since they do have that higher perspective, even more so knowing what it is in the future, knowing that this does exist and that the agenda of the future, which is on that World Economic Forum website, which is on every committee, by the way, that has to do with the virus and the vaccine. Well, you know that. I mean, you can't not know that because you know everything else. So I'm going, well, since they know that, there's no one in their rational, competent mind that would actually pick to choose to get the vaccine, knowing everything that's in the vaccine, which is the ability in the future for them not to choose their own choices at all, based on the fact that the surveillance and monitoring program itself, and if you look at it, it has room for more data, which everything is going to be tied to that, your identity, your social security number, your bank's information, everything. So guess what happens then? If you choose to have a different perspective than the World Economic Forum, which when I read on the podcast I read, when I was reading the Board of Trustees bullshit and all that, it even says on there, if someone opposes the forum's agenda, It can either be resignation, determination, or some I don't know, some weird other word that didn't sound good, up until death. And I had said, death? For disagreeing with the forum? Yes, it's on their board of trustees, whatever guidelines. Death. Yeah, actually says that. So I go, well, and then the only people that have any say, everything is referred to as, if you are a CEO, not like a human being, not like if you are just a worker, no, if you're a CEO, as if anyone other than CEO doesn't have any rights at all, it seems like, according to what their own website says. So if they know all this stuff, that is their no-choice future, and they're choosing stuff every day, competently, rationally, making choices to have fun, do things, having fun, seeing them have fun, doing stuff that are fun, not liking stuff, making decisions, going places, living life on their own terms by making decisions that they choose to do every day, then how in the world could they ever get a vaccine that they know has that in it? Then I go, well, then that only means one of two things. Either they don't have the ability to make choices when it comes to this. They have to choose that. There's no other option for them. There's only one or two ways it can mean. Or B, that this has become such a secondary reality that they don't even take it seriously enough to play the roles right. Those are the only two options that I found to be even possibilities. Either A, you're not playing the role right because this is just too much fun, or whatever. The other real world is just too, like, we already know that exists and this is just whatever time. So yeah, whatever, enslavement program. That's the only thing I could think of. Or you just can't make your choices anymore. So then I'm like, well, if that's the case, then how do I get something but people that can't make a choice, and I really do believe that it is, can't choose that, can only choose that, to choose this if they only are allowed to choose that. And I think that's a real world scenario. I hope not, but, because it makes money. Then I go, well, how in the world, what does that mean exactly to me? Because to them, I guess that's just part of what they have to do. I'm thinking, and then because I don't know, again, I'm just talking from a perspective I see things as. Again, I don't have the higher perspective, so I don't know the real answer to it, but I'm sure it's a deviation of one of those two. One of those two, maybe something a little bit like a offshoot of one of the two, but definitely one of the two. And then I go, well, damn it, man. Because now I'm like, well, I know for a fact, I've said about this diagram so many times that people don't know it doesn't exist. I was literally yelling at Dr. Fauci over the MSNBC TV yesterday, saying, this fucking guy, he doesn't answer. Why won't you guys ask him the real question? What question is that? What the hell is this surveillance and monitoring program doing in the vaccine? That's the only question you should have to ask. That's the only question really that matters. What the hell is this surveillance and monitoring program doing in the vaccine? And then just let him talk. Well, no, don't do that, because then he's going, well, you're going to have to talk to the people that made I can only report to the efficacy of the actual vaccine and the safety measures, and we understand that there's going to be hesitancy and all that shit. But at the end of the day, that's the only question that you should that's the one question that matters the most. What the hell is there a surveillance and monitoring program doing in the vaccine? That's the question I'd start with, I'd end with, I'd keep on until everyone answered it. I'd be all right, okay, guys, we're going to have to come back to this because I know you're going to want to go somewhere else, offshoot me to some other like blood clot or some other thing that's safety concern, or some other problem that that you're saying, side effects shit or whatever. All right, that not to say that those things don't exist, Dr. Fauci. I'm just saying, what the hell is the surveillance and monitoring program doing in the vaccine? Preferably, I'd like to get the guy that made the diagram. Can we get him here? Because I know that that's the only way. And his name is actually on the bottom. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, I have the website. I've linked everything. I'm on Reddit now going, all right, so there's no way anyone can possibly dispute any of this now. I'm going to put it in such terms that even though I think I do a pretty good job anytime when I talk anyway, saying, okay, you believe in the CDC. I know you do because you wear a mask. So, and I do the same thing on there too, but that way I have to preface it that way. So that way there's no like, okay, we can't, I'm thinking like I have to put it in such a way that there's no way this can be turned down. Because of the fact that everything has been laid out, that these are credible sources based on the sources you use and blah, 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 blah. So that's what I do. I freaking have to go through that, and then I go, well, they took it down. What the fuck? There we are, and now we're back to like, what zone am I in? Where am I again? What the hell happened here? Nothing makes sense, literally. And then, he goes, I put it in glitch in the matrix. You know, I did that because that's literally a glitch in the matrix, because there's got to be a glitch in the matrix when people are doing two separate things, wanting something at the same time. And the robot freaking goes, rule number 9, this is not a glitch in the matrix. And I go, oh yeah, watch this, Reddit bot. And I go, I've been waiting for somebody to say something. So I'm like, all right, well, how about this? It doesn't agree with the laws of the world that I live in. You can't have light and dark at the same time. Duality doesn't exist. That you can't be two separate things at the same time in the same body, believing in two. I hate freedom, but I love it. At the same time, for the same exact time, at the same time, light and dark can't exist, same place, same time. This can't happen. You can't. No, glitch in the matrix. So I think that was like the one place it should have been accepted. And then, so I mean, like, I'm at the point now that I'm like, what is my purpose here? And then I start thinking, I'm always thinking of a way around it. I can find a way around this stuff. I'll figure this out sooner or later. I'm gonna find a way. So now I have to convince what do I have to do? I mean, like, I'm like really thinking, like, what do I have to do? I mean, because if they're still talking about virus bullshit, I'm done with that conversation. I'm 10 steps ahead of that one. I'm trying to figure out what the heck's going on in this world that where two people same person cannot, like, you can't be loving life and hating it at the same time. Like, I love life so much that I'm going to put myself in a enslavement program that's going to take all my rights away, and I have full knowledge that it's going to do that. And they do. They have full knowledge. It's not like this is something they're just now coming up with. Why? Because you know where I'm going before I get there. So I would assume you know more than me as far as this freaking vaccine's concerned, Mr. Future Traveler. So then it doesn't make any sense to me. So literally then I have to I'm like, do you realize that these people that you're signing up to get the vaccine with the surveillance and monitoring program that's been laid out with the global agenda that's been laid out from the people in charge, and those are the same people that have brought us every other problem that we've ever had in this world, with the solutions, by the way, to fix them. But guess what happens every time that happens? We lose two things. Well, actually, we lose our freedoms. There's freedoms taken away usually at some of these, freedoms taken away. And then also taxes that we have to pay because they're going to make us feel bad about it somehow. Just like the environment. You guys have been carbon taxing. I guarantee you, this is out of control. You guys, I don't know what, we're all in it together. We're all in it together, and here's the thing. we all got to play our part, and we all love Earth, right? Yeah, we do. Well, then, and guess what? We're going to have to step up and start paying for it. Because here's what happened. You guys are driving cars and putting gas in them, And I don't know, it's just like, we're all doing it, yes, and we're all going to have to pay a carbon tax now, because we ended up making cars that needed gas that you had to drive. So we're going to also put that blame on you too. Don't forget about that. You're part of this problem. No, I'm not. Well, you drove a car, didn't you? I didn't have a choice. I'm sorry. Well, you know what? We didn't have a choice either. So here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to charge you extra taxes for you polluting the earth that you should feel bad about too, by the way. We like you to feel bad when we create problems that you feel bad about and then have to pay for them. That's another one of our favorite things to do. So we create problems, and then we give you solutions, and then we take away freedoms, and then we make you pay. And then guess what? Everyone signs up for the program of enslavement. That doesn't make actual sense at all to me. And then I have to go, don't you see what's going on up there? Don't you guys see that the problem makers are the problem? The people that make the problems are the problem, not the people that are down here dealing with the problems are not the problem. The people that make the problems, they literally make the problems. I can even show you, if you look back to anything that happened, and you go, well, how did I start calling it a Jim Crow state? Where did that come from? And why all of a sudden, now that it's a racist thing all of a sudden, just because of a voter law? Yeah, they did that. They did that. Straight up. They made it a racist thing. They literally did make it a racist thing to divide us over a voter law. They did that. 100% they did that. And you know what? I don't know if everyone's blind to it. I doubt it. I think that you're maybe even part of it now. And that's sad. That's sad that not only do we have racial division, but now it's being manufactured. We actually have manufactured racial division in the country, believe it or not. I know this sounds like crazy talk that it should never be. This is, what do you mean manufactured? Manufactured racial division due to problems that were caused to cause racial division. And that's a fact. And guess what? That's sad because they do it all the time. Here's how they do it. If you believe one way that they don't want you to go and it's against their narrative, what do they automatically do? They put a name on you. If it's not racist for this, it's this for that, or it's Jim Crow, or it's this, that, or the other. It's always a title that they make up to make you put either ostracize you, cancel your whole argument, or just deem you crazy, or whatever it is that they have to do to not get, if you're going to go against the narrative. They do it. That's a political move that's been around for ages. That's where you can look at it anywhere. They have new words that they come up with every day, by the way. It's very interesting to watch. Yeah, I see them. I see them all the time. I'm like, what is that word? That's just brand new. I guarantee you guys just made that one up today. And they did. And that's the only reason they do it. They make up words to kind of that may sound like I don't even know who comes up with these terms. Like, yeah, like all of these terms that they come up with. And then all of a sudden, because they want you to like either A, support or be against something. They want you fighting each other. They want people out there arguing and fighting in division. Because guess what that does? It not only do they get the energy off of that, but they also get the fact that you're not looking at the problem makers. They created that problem. and made you fight over each other and gave you more shit to freaking deal with on the lower level of suffering, as if we're not all down here. Well, at least me, I'm down here. I'm down here, down here. Meaning, I don't fly to the fifth dimension overnight and just hang out in freaking time zone continuum, space-time, no, every time, all the time, day. Do I see that? Yeah. But do I do it? How do I access it? I don't. So I'm like literally at the level of this is real for all real. Even though I see that, doesn't mean I know anything other than I see that and it doesn't make sense. But it's real, but I don't know. That's all I know. But I'm not able to do it, so therefore I'm still here doing this, living life on Earth. The only place I know. So yeah. When I'm seeing all this on my perspective, which is the Earth perspective, which is like this should be baseline perspective on what reality is, really. For Earth, at least. And then you guys are all of a sudden breaking the rules of Earth by not doing anything that makes sense according to what I see, which is reality. Then I'm like, either A, like I said, it's one of two things. Either you can't make choices, or you can't choose that. Let's just say you're not able to choose anything other than that. Or this has become such a secondary that you're not taking it seriously at all by not playing the part you're supposed to play, which is the part that is who you are now. If you were that person, which you are, you wouldn't be doing this. It's just not logically sensible. No one would. It's impossible to think that anyone would do that ever that's a competent, rational person. No one in their right mind would do that ever. Like, all right, I know that's the enslavement. I know what they are. I know what this is. I love my family. I go out every day, make decisions, but nope, now I'm not anymore in the future. Knowingly. No one would do that. It's not even conceivable that would even be a concept that would even somebody would like go, okay, yeah, that does make sense. Let's do it. Let's lose it all. Let's do it. Let's sign up for that Yes. I don't know, man. I'm just feeling crazy today, and freedom. Fuck you. We're going for this one this time. No one would do that ever. We're going for the enslavement program. Freedom, we had enough time having fun doing things on our own. Now we're going to sign up for a program. We're a part of a machine that tells us what to do, and if we don't do it, it's up to death. From the same people that brought us all the other problems we've had for this entire millennia. So yeah, no one ever in their right mind would do that. In fact, people would be like going, if this was really like played out properly, people would be going, we got to do everything possible to stop that thing from happening. Everything. I mean, like, this is crazy. Do you see this? I mean, the vaccine the virus, I'll take that every day. Virus, give me the COVID-19, please, all the time. All variants of it, and I'll take them all at once if I need to, over getting that vaccine, if that's my two options. Don't give me the fucking virus, please. But if I had to choose, yeah, that would be my choice. That wouldn't be a no-brainer for me. You mean one of the two? Yeah, I potentially I may die from the virus, very little chance. But I'll tell you what, I never recover from the surveillance program. And that's the truth. You never recover from the surveillance program. In fact, that's probably why they have to keep the virus around forever. To keep the surveillance program around forever. Well, no, eventually they won't need to do that. It'll be everyone's, screw it. We don't care what they believe now. We got them. Virus canceled. Everyone's 100% vaccinated. Mission accomplished. And that's probably what will happen. Like the virus, it's not like they're going to go, oh man, when everyone's fully vaccinated, which if I have anything to do with it, I will never be, ever be. But they're never going to go, okay, yes. And unless they're trying to have fun still with us. COVID-19 is still around too, by the way. Let's see what else now that we have them on that program, we can really mess with them now. Keep your masks on still while you're working at the job we tell you to work at, while you're working out at the program we assign for you to wake up and do and work out at, while you're eating the food that we give you to eat that you're on the diet now, while we tell you everything that you have to do from this point forward, you still got to wear a mask. I hope the heck they won't do that, but that's something that they might do just for the hell of it. And then another thing is this, like, then I am always thinking, like, everything's connected. I mean, like, obviously, according to their own website, the Great Reset, where they flip the market, everything, the total annihilation of the money system as we know it, all that has to happen by a crisis. Well, I thought that the crisis would be big enough with being the virus, and unfortunately, I think they wanted it to when they locked down the world. But then they came back, and I guess timeline shifted or whatever, and now they're at like a point where they're like, okay, so what are we gonna do to get everyone to do what we needed them to do? So then now you look at the crisis on the border. And I said, this is no accident that these people just happen to just accidentally, more times than it, highest number of people crossing the border illegally at one time in the history of immigration. So not to say I'm against people coming to the United States and migrants. I'm for everyone coming to, I don't discriminate against anybody, but the thing of it is that you got to ask yourself, all of a sudden, out of the blue, we have 3 million people coming over in the course of like a couple months now, for 3 months, whatever. I don't know the exact number, but it's higher than it's ever been in the history of America. I guarantee you that, over the border. And then you look back and you see the money trail that Biden, like literally, it's been in the paper, sending millions of dollars to these countries in Latin America where the migrants are coming from. Do you think it's a mistake? And they're getting flown. They even tell you that on the news. They got flown to the border, and then you see them getting. When do you remember in history that the Border Patrol was like grabbing people in the middle of the Rio Grande with a sandwich bag in a water and bringing them not to like the holding center? You're welcome to America, which is. All right, so that's fine. I'm saying other people. Well, first off, it goes against the immigration laws for those people that did have to actually go through the process of becoming an American and going through the process. But then you have to ask yourself, that's not even the real question. The real question I ask myself, what's the end game to this? There's no coincidence here that all these people are coming over at once, being paid, countries being paid millions of dollars. Probably to have them have safe refuge from their states or places of countries of origin to the U.S. That's probably what the dollars are for. And then you got to ask yourself, well, what is it? What I'm asking myself, I'm trying to think like, well, where are they going with this? Well, it only could be like two things, maybe more, but I think it's going to be like a toilet paper maneuver. Eventually, like when everyone else needs to do something. Of course, they're bless them. They're in the United States, and so they're obviously willing to do. I mean, like, because they came from a country that's not nearly has the benefits and the privileges that we have. So, and they're used to working for a much less wage, living in way worse conditions. So they're going to obviously be able to work for a less wage and take jobs that we have. At a less wage than we normally would want to ourselves ever. And guess what? I think that's part of the play. The second thing is, whenever you again with toilet paper maneuver, whenever you get everyone moving in one direction, if you get them moving in a direction that they want everyone else to move, because these are like most of them are migrant factory workers. So if you get them working and taking jobs out of Americans' hands for less money, getting people to do things that we normally wouldn't do because of the lifestyle we're accustomed to and the privileges that we are normally used to. But if you get a bunch of people over here that are not used to those customs and privileges like we are and are willing to work more hours for less money, then you got to say that's almost like that's where it's at. But the next step is, I don't want to if anyone has anything to do with this, obviously you guys got to start picking a side here. You got to figure out what you want. If you're able to choose, why in the heck would anyone choose that if they're able to choose? I don't know why anyone in their right mind would do it, because no one in their right mind would do it. So if you're able to choose, what are you doing? What are you doing not for just you, for your family, for your future, for your family's future, for your kids? For the future of the world, these are things that you would think about if you were me, where I'm at, living things the way I see them on the earth as I only see them. That's the only thing you would do. No one would ever purposely sign up for that knowing what it is. No one would. No one would ever do that, ever, if they were able to competently reason and make decisions, which you can do, because I know you do it, because you do it all the time. I see you. So where do we go from here? Are we just going to, now I can't even talk to you guys. You don't answer questions. I get talked at. You talk to me. So anyway, you know what? Something's got to change. You guys got to pick a side. You got to either pick a side, play your part, do something, because this scenario, is unacceptable. And the reason being is that no matter what, it violates every law of the universe. So that's one thing. Because literally you can't be two things at the same time. So at the same place, in the same body. So you got to figure out what it is, what universe reality do you think this is, because it's not the earth one based on the laws that were assigned to this earth that was created. So either A, the universe is going to fall apart based on the fact that the laws haven't been following correctly, or B, then you start playing your part. Or C, then you have to disconnect from the program that's not allowing you to choose. There's only three options I'd see to be able to continue. If we're still going to go back to the danger of the virus, then you guys got me fucked up. Because that's old news. That's like yesterday's, not even yesterday's. That's like 10 years ago to me. The virus, we're still talking about that after all of this. Really, guys? Come on. Don't insult me like that and bring back the virus, the inefficacy of the virus, and let's normalize the only way we go back to normal and all that bullshit. You're insulting me at that point. So either play your part or, to pick a side. But if everyone's picking that, then this isn't even real. This is the unrealist real world that I've ever lived in, the only one I know. So in other words, the whole world is the laws of the universe have been canceled, and the world as we know it is gone mad because no one is acting like they would if they were really the same people that I see doing the same things they do every single day. No one would sign up for that, knowing what it is, and you do know what it is. So let's not play like this is like, whoa, back in the virus. Gotta wear a mask though. That's crazy. We're beyond that now. Let's get to the point where I'm at so we can move on. Are we playing the game, or if it is a game, which is not to me, it's the only world I know, but if this is a game to you, then you need to start playing the part. And other than that, or you just, or the laws of the universe have just been eliminated, or you can't choose. That's the only thing I can think of. But it's really only two. The laws of the universe would have to fall apart, I guess, if you are two people at the same time, light and dark don't exist together at the same time, same place. So yeah, I guess the laws of the universe either did destruct because of this that's going on, and we're still somehow able to survive, or or you can't choose. There's no other alternative. There's no other way to look at it. That is what it is. It is the only way it is, and it is exactly what I'm saying it is. And the only real thing is that diagram on the CDC website is the only verifiable proof of anything that actually does exist for real, 100%. Everything else is speculative based on their own numbers and percentages of what happens if you do things, which is never 100%. So that's the last thing that should be discounted, is that diagram. That's the only thing that's verifiable, 100% true, according to their own website. Because I can see it, and it's all verified. Everything else, wear a mask, that doesn't 100% protect you. The vaccine doesn't 100% protect you. Everything else they say doesn't 100% protect you. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors up until that surveillance program. That's the only verifiable thing on the damn website that can actually be proven by the diagram that shows it exists. But that's the only thing that was not talked about on anywhere at all. The one thing that's 100% accurate, verifiable truth. On that note, I'm going to let you guys figure this one out, because you're the smart ones up there. I'm just down here, lonely Ted, figuring out what the hell is going on with the world, and you guys are the ones showing it to me in a way that doesn't make sense. So either make sense out of this, or what the hell am I doing here? I don't get it either way. I don't understand it, and it doesn't make sense unless you guys are going to play the part or choose the right. If you were going to play the part, you already be choosing no to the vaccine. If you really are the same people I see out there choosing, which you are. So I don't know what else to tell you. There's glitch in the matrix. So that's about it. I don't know where we go from here, but I say that every time, and you guys invent another crisis for me to look at, I guess. Don't do that anymore, please. I'm not going to look at them anymore. I'm going to say that's another problem making a problem, and I'm not going to be the solution for that one. Not until we get a solution for this one, which is the only solution that I want right now, because the other things are just made up problems to get me to divert my attention from this one. So if you're making up problems to get me to divert my attention from this one, I'm not going to divert my attention from this one to look at that one. Unless it has something to do with this one that I could tie together and tie everything together and make it a nice little bow that it all makes even more perfect sense. But that's it. That's all I got. Please, freaking come up with an answer other than another problem.